Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. It is Saturday afternoon and you see what I'm doing. This is what I've been doing most of the day. I had some tummy troubles last night. Not sure why. Just kind of came out of the blue in the middle of the night and I was pretty much up all night. So I am exhausted today. Exhausted. And just like wiped out from all that. Wiped out. So, I have not done a thing today. Not a thing. I am watching Doug. He is attempting to change our cat door. I bought a new one, but it's not going to work. The old one, the hole is bigger than the new one. So, we're going to have to take it back and maybe get a different kind. We'll see. We'll just keep trying until we find one. So, that's what he was working on. We'll have to put the old one back on. But I have done nothing but sit here. I did attempt to eat this morning. It was all lower GI stuff without TMI. I did have a half a bagel this morning with a little bit of butter on it. Just because I felt like I needed to eat something. So that was, 4 points for the bagel and 1 point for the butter. It was a half a bagel. Because I promised you I would start giving you points. So, I wanted to mention that too. So many of you are so happy that I am back on WW. I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of WW content like I did before. I do not go to the meetings. And they don't give out... I guess at the meetings they give out the weekly topic, but they don't publish them online anymore. To get the weekly topic, you have to go to the meeting or watch a Zoom. I have said before, meetings are not my jam anymore because they're just, most of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are just completely opposite of what I do. You know, like my old meeting place, all they talk about is, how much food you can get for 0 points and fat-free and sugar-free, and I'm just not into that anymore. I'm not. So that's why I don't go to meetings. Plus, it's just hard to get there. It's hard because I can't go during the day and, But anyway. So I'm probably not going to be doing a weekly topic because I really can't get them. Yeah, it's a little disappointing that they took that off of the app. But they added so much good stuff to the app, meaning the macros. So I guess it's, give and take. I am not going to be cooking with sugar-free or fat-free or anything like that ingredients. I am sticking to my whole ingredients. So I am doing this by eating the way I want to eat. So if you're disappointed, I am so sorry. So the content's really not going to change too much, except there'll be points involved. I will probably get back to doing a weigh-in at some point, just not right now. Probably only once a month. I don't want it to consume me. Did not pick up the camera all day today because I did not leave the couch, but I am feeling so much better. So much better. So much better that we are all sitting at the table helping Andrew with a project. So as you know, one of his jobs, besides teaching, is the Director of Religious Education for the parish that is at his school. So we are making up the little confirmation booklets, and he needs these for tomorrow. So we are doing 100 of them. Doug is folding the insert. I am folding the cover. And Andrew is using the long arm stapler and stapling them together. So everybody pitches in around here.
Thank you.
Good morning. Whew, I feel like a whole new person. I really do. So yeah, I did not pick up the camera yesterday. Maybe twice. Friday night, I was fine. We went to Holy Hour at church. That's from 6 to 7. And then Doug was the presider, I guess you call it, for Stations of the Cross. So that starts at 7. He was the assistant for Holy Hour, and then he was the presider for Stations of the Cross. We got home about, I don't know, a little after 8, I guess. I woke up not so fine. TMI, but it was all lower GI. But oh my gosh, I got 0 sleep Friday night. So between the lower GI issues and not sleeping, I was wrecked on Saturday. I was wrecked. It took it all out of me to record my menu plan and grocery haul. And like yesterday it was a weird day because like I wanted to eat, but I didn't want to eat. So all day yesterday I had a half a bagel, 1 cup of tea, bunch of electrolyte water, just trying to replenish everything that I lost. And then for dinner I had a 2-inch piece of turkey sandwich. We kept it easy last night for dinner and did turkey sandwiches. I had a 2-inch piece. But I slept all night last night. Went to bed early. I was in bed way before 10. And I was afraid I wasn't going to sleep because I had slept most of the day. But man, I slept all night last night. I woke up feeling refreshed, feeling fantastic. So that's good. That's good. So I am on my way to church. It is 6:45. Doug is already there. He has to be there pretty early for setup and everything. And Adam is at the Mount. I think I told you that this weekend. And Andrew has to go to the church he works at because they have confirmation this morning at 11:30, I think, yeah. So he'll be gone most of the day with that. My plan today, assuming that I'm still feeling good, is I'm going to the church breakfast after Mass, and then getting home and doing everything I didn't get to do yesterday. I need to clean my house. Like, those babies kill my house. It just, I mop and I vacuum. I vacuum twice a day with them, and I mop at least once a day, sometimes twice, depending on what we do. But it's usually just a quickie, I need to do a good vacuum and mop, for sure. I need to dust, and I would like to switch over from my red decorations in the kitchen and dark curtains in the family room to all my blue stuff and my light curtains. So that's the plan. I need to change my sheets because I didn't do it yesterday. And I also need to make dessert for soup and scripture. I think I'm going to make crumb cake. That's my thought. Now the crumb cake recipe that I have uses a box cake mix. I prefer not to do that, so I'm going to attempt with my homemade yellow cake. I don't see why it wouldn't work. So that's my plan for the day. And I forgot to shoot. I meant to put the chicken out. And I'm going to make a roast chicken for dinner. So that's pretty hands off. So that's the plan. That is the plan. I think it's a good plan. We'll see what happens. If I get it all done, that's great. If I don't, that's okay too. Progress, not perfection. I am quite hungry this morning. Not gonna lie. Friday was a fasting day, so we fasted all day and then had a small dinner. I realized a couple weeks ago that I cannot, as hungry as I am on Friday by dinner, I cannot eat a big dinner or it just doesn't sit well. So we had a small dinner. I forgot when we went out, we were out all day Friday. I forgot to take the salmon out. And that was what was dinner, because it was just Doug and I, so I was just going to make 2 pieces of salmon and some sweet potatoes. Well, by the time we got home, and then it was turned nice, so we went right outside. Doug did the chicken coop, and I played with the baby outside, because he had been cooped up all day because the weather wasn't the greatest, and turn that blinker off. I know that's annoying. the weather wasn't the greatest, and so we were shopping and at the dentist and all. So I wanted to get him out to play, and then his mom came. We chatted. They left. I started putting groceries away and totally forgot about dinner. And then it was 4 o'clock, and we had to leave by 5:15 to go to church. So we ended up splitting from the local pizzeria. We got a small eggplant parm sandwich, and we split the small sandwich. So it's only about this big. So I didn't have a huge dinner Friday night, and then we all know what happened overnight Friday night. So, and I didn't have much to eat yesterday, so I am hungry. I told Doug, I said, I am going to eat a big breakfast at the church breakfast today. I'm craving a pancake. We were supposed to have pancakes yesterday morning for breakfast. I didn't make them. And Doug said he wasn't really in the mood for pancakes anyway, so he was kind of glad I didn't make them. But I'm in the mood for pancakes. I'm just craving a pancake. Now, are the ones at the church? You know they're from a mix, but I don't care at this point. I just want a pancake. So this week sometime I'll have to make, maybe next Saturday, or I don't know, to make pancakes. But, because I usually don't make pancakes when Doug's not home, because I'm not just making them for myself. And Fridays when he's home, we're fasting, so yeah. Anyway, that's my saga. That's my story. So I am looking forward to breakfast this morning at church. I plan on having one pancake just to satisfy that pancake need. I plan on having some scrambled eggs with a little bit of cream chip beef drizzled over them, a hash brown, a piece of sausage, and a piece of toast. That's my plan. I'm sticking to it. I am so hungry. And then, like I said, tonight for dinner, we're going to have roast chicken. I wanted to make stuffing, but I'm not going to. I would have made that yesterday because I like to make it the day before, so that's that. What else? My plan also yesterday was to film a part 2 of the clean swaps, like food swaps. I don't know if you saw the one I did about 2 months ago, 2 months ago, where I just gave clean swaps for different foods. Like, instead of using Hellmann's or Duke's mayonnaise, use Primal Kitchen or Chosen Foods, because they're made with avocado, not soybean. Instead of using Cool Whip, make your own whipped cream, or use what's called True Whip. What else did I talk about? Potato chips. You know, instead of using like Lay's or Hers. Is Hers, I don't know if Hers is national. Is Hers national? I'm not sure if Hers is national, and I don't know if Utz is national, because they're both in PA, so they may be regional. But anyway, instead of using those, use Boulder Canyon or Siete, which is done in avocado oil. So anyway, I was hoping to do part 2 of that with some new swaps. I was going to talk about yogurt. I forget what else. Crackers. So, anyway. That's that. It'll get done eventually. That's all I can say. It'll get done eventually. It's another busy week with the babies. I've got a lot of babies, a lot of times. And I know you're all going to say I'm crazy. I just took on another baby. Very part-time, on a part-time basis, only for 1 month, and and he's 2, so he's not like a baby. 1 month, 2 days a week, and it's my best friend's grandson. So I couldn't say no. It's only for the month of, well, I guess it's 6 weeks. May and the first 2 weeks of June. Just 2 days. So I can, and I asked her if I could pick the days, and she said yes. So I will pick the days for him on days I don't have all 3 babies. So it'll be, easier. And it's very temporary. So it'll work. My nose is very itchy. Pollen. I have to start my allergy regime. My bee pollen, my honey, and my roller, because it's that time of year. anyway, it's a busy week with babies. Next week, the next 2 weeks will not be, because well, this week's busy. The following week is Holy Week, so I don't they're off from school for that, so I don't have a lot of babies. And the week after is the week after Easter, and they're off from school for part of that or all of that. So yeah, easy weeks hopefully coming up. Hopefully. I never say that because then life blows up in my face. I guess that's it though. I talk way long enough. And somebody's putting a big addition on their house. It is super, super foggy. I am almost to church. I'm about 5 minutes away, which is good because I'm a little bit late. I am a lector today. That means I am reading real quick in the Catholic Church, in a Catholic Mass. There are 4 different parts of the Bible read. The whole Mass is based on the Bible. All our prayers, everything is based on the Bible, based on Scripture. But specific Scripture is read. We read a reading from the Old Testament. We read from Psalms. Actually, we sing from Psalms. We read from the New Testament. And then we read from the Gospels. And then the homily is given based on those 3 or 4 Scripture readings. So I am reader number 1 today. So I read the Old Testament. It's from the book of Isaiah, and it is not a fun reading. It's a lot of weird punctuation, and I don't know, it just doesn't flow really nice. I must have practiced it 30 times because I just don't like the flow of it, so I want to make sure I get it right. So that's my ministry today. But anyway, I am going to let you go because I am almost there. I was saying I like to be there by 7:05 when I have a ministry. Mass starts at 7:30. And I just like to be there early enough to pray, collect my thoughts, greet people coming in. And then we do, all the ministries do a group prayer before Mass starts. I just don't like to be last minute, but I should be there by 7:08, so that's good enough. So I will hopefully try to record a little bit of the breakfast for you. Doug's solo today because Adam's at the Mount and Andrew has his confirmation thing. So the other guy who does omelets, when my guys aren't there, Doug texted him last night. He's like, look, my guys aren't going to be there, and he said I'm not going to be there for prep because I have 7:30 Mass. So Doug won't even get over there until the breakfast is in swing. So Gordon's like, it's okay, I got this. Thank you for warning me. I will have my act together. So all good. Okay, catch you later. There's the bunny.
Okay. All right, good.
Okay, I am home from church. I am changed. I have my hair up, and we are going to start making dessert for Soup and Scripture. That way, while the cake is baking, I have to make 2 of them. While the cake is baking, I can work on cleaning my house and changing over my kitchen and family room to spring mode, which for me, that means getting rid of the maroon and the red and going to blue and yellow in my kitchen. And in my family room, it's changing out my dark brown curtains to a light tan curtain. I really need to replace the rug in the kitchen for summer, but I haven't found something I want yet. So I'm going to put the old one down and just kind of keep my eye out. And I'm thinking about replacing the rug in the family room for the summer because it is a dark brown and I want something a little bit lighter. Do I love storing the extra seasonal stuff? Not really. I don't. But I do love having what I feel, for me, is a beautiful home. I love my home to be welcoming. I love my home to be put together and cozy and just welcoming. So, I kind of give and take. I kind of give and take when it comes to that. There's certain things that I will not have multiples of or not have like a lot of Certain things I don't want a ton of, but when it comes to decor for my home, because I do love, we have a lot of company over, we host a lot of family things. I do love having, being able to change things for the seasons. So anyway, but first of all, we got to get cake making. So we are making Aunt Emma's crumb cake. This is not my Aunt Emma. This is my girlfriend Christina's Aunt Emma. This cake is phenomenal. Now, it does start with a packaged yellow cake mix. I don't really use those, so I'm going to make just a yellow cake mix from scratch and use the rest of the recipe for the crumb topping. The crumb on this is as thick as the cake. It is wonderful. It's like a New York crumb cake because the crumb is so big. Yeah. It was hard giving up sweets for Lent, let me tell you, because I'm going to want a piece of this, but that's okay. That's okay. I can always make it another time. But we're going to get started on this first, and then we're going to get started on, I'm going to clean first, I think, and then change things over. But before I do that, before we clean, I need to refill my cleaners. I am completely out of my all-purpose cleaner, so we'll get that done too. We just got to get moving. Okay, here we go. We have our oven preheating to 350 degrees. In my mixer bowl, I have 3/4 cup of room temperature softened butter. To that, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of avocado oil. You can use whatever kind of neutral oil you like. Then I'm going to add in 1.5 cups of sugar. And then 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. I know this is a really weird recipe that you don't put all the dry ingredients together. And then we need some salt. Then we need 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. We are going to beat this for we're going to beat it until it's combined. Then we're going to scrape it down and beat it for another 2 to 3 minutes until it's pale in color. Okay, I'm just going to scrape this down. And then we're just going to let it go another 2 or 3 minutes. And then we'll start adding in the rest of our ingredients. Okay, this is looking good. Nice and combined and nice and pale. So now we are going to add in our eggs one at a time. And we're going to make sure we scrape the bowl at least twice. Okay, this is looking good. Now we're going to stir in our 3 cups of flour. until it's just combined. Now we're going to add in 1 cup of room temperature milk. And we're going to beat it for another minute or 2. You don't want to overmix it because you don't want your cake crumb to be tough. Okay, that looks absolutely beautiful. I'm going to give it a scrape and just whirl it around about 2 more times just to get all the stuff off the sides in there. It is a beautiful cake batter, my friends. And honestly, it's really not much harder than opening a box mix. So next time you're going to reach for that box mix, don't. Just do it like this. Okay, we're going to pour this into a greased 9 by 13 pan. If you were just making this cake, you're going to bake it for 30 minutes. But because we're making it a crumb cake, we're only going to bake it for 15. Then we're going to put the crumb on, then we're going to finish baking it. But we'll get to that. For right now, I'm going to get this in the pan, 9 by 13 greased, and get it in the oven at 350. Okay, right into the pan. I will link this recipe below. I'll probably link, yeah, I'll link it below. But I will make note that if you want, you can use, what is that? Oh, a piece of, oh my goodness, there was a piece of paper still on the butter. Thank goodness I found that. Not perfect here. I will link the recipe below for the original cake, and I will also link the recipe for the yellow cake mix from scratch that I use. Okay. We are going to get this in there for 15 minutes, and while this is in the oven, we're going to prepare our crumb topping. Okay, now we're going to make our topping. I haven't made this cake in a long time, so I kind of don't remember how to make the topping, and all it says is mixed topping, and has a list of ingredients. I don't remember if I use the mixer, if I use my hands. So I washed my hands so I can get in there with my fingers. I have 3 cups of flour, and now here's the part, don't have a heart attack. We're going to put in 1 cup of sugar. That's not the heart attack part. Here comes the heart attack part. 3 sticks of butter. Yep, you heard me correctly. 3 sticks of butter. This does make a super thick topping. I mean, because that's what a crumb cake is. I do cut these in smallish pieces, so, you know. Then we're going to add in a teaspoon of vanilla. And then a tablespoon of cinnamon. Let's see what we got here. Like I said, I don't remember. I want to say I do it with my fingers because you want that crumb consistency. And I think if you use the electric mixer, you're going to actually like beat it, and it's not going to be a crumb texture. It's going to be a batter texture. So we're just going to get in there with our fingers And we're just going to keep mixing. If I remember correctly, it is more of a wet crumb. Oh, sorry. It's not like an oat crumb that you'd put on like an apple crisp. It's a wetter crumb. So I'm going to go keep working this. I'll show you what it looks like when I think it's done. And then it'll be all ready to go on our cake when our cake is half baked. Okay, this is looking good. It's exactly how I want it. You can mush it together, but then crumble it right back up again, if that makes any sense. So we are going to set this aside. And then I think I'm only going to cook the cake for 13 minutes instead of 15. And then we'll get this topping on and then cook it for the rest of the time. Okay, here is our hot, partially baked cake. So we are going to take our topping and just evenly sprinkle it over the top. You want to make sure you get it all the way to the corners and all the way to the edges. And you can see it sinking in a bit. It's exactly what you want. I told you there was a lot of topping on this cake. That's what a New York crumb is. It's same amount of crumb to cake ratio. Okay, we're going to put this back in the oven for at least 15 minutes. I'm going to check it with a toothpick and we'll see if the cake's done. It's hard to see the cake because of all the crumbs, so you definitely need to test it with a toothpick. Here it is out of the oven. It ended up cooking another like 25 minutes or so, not just 15. So it took quite a while. I'm hoping it's done. I'm thinking it's done. So I'm going to let this cool completely before I make my second one, because I just want to double check this and make sure it's right. And in the meantime, while this is cooling, we actually have to take a run to Tractor Supply because we need shavings. Okay, the cake is out of the oven, so this guy and I are heading to Tractor Supply. We need shavings.
And we need a waterer.
Oh, that's right. We need a new waterer. So the meat birds get changed a lot when they are in the house, and they will be in the house for about 3 weeks. The first week's not too bad, but second week and third week, they get changed pretty much every other day. So we do go through, and we either have 2 to 3 brooders going at a time. So we go through a lot of shavings. And it takes us about 3/4 of a pack when we do the coop, right? Not quite a whole pack.
Yeah, about that.
About 3/4, but then that other quarter we use in the 2-3 weeks between changes to kind of just refill the nest boxes because they like to kick it all out. And when they kick it out, it makes for sometimes cracked eggs and sometimes dirty eggs. So we go through a lot of shavings. Luckily, they are not too expensive. I would love to use like hemp bedding or the coffee ground bedding, but oh my gosh, it's so expensive. Now they say that lasts longer, but I don't know if it does. So that's what we're doing now. The kitchen is on pause right now. The resetting of the kitchen to the blue deco is on pause right now while we run down here. I could have sent Doug by himself, but honestly, I want to see if they have any chicks. I'm not getting chicks. We're not getting our egg chicks until like May.
Right.
Probably, because we can't have all these brooders going. I would lose my mind. I would lose my mind if I had more than like 2 or 3 brooders going at a time. So until the meat birds are out of the brooders and on grass, yeah, then we'll get some egg layers. Actually, yeah, so beginning middle of May. I like to wait until it's warm enough to get them out of the house at 6 weeks, because it's time at 6 weeks. I'm tired of them being in my house. I'm tired of the dust. So, yeah. But anyway, if they have any cheaps down at Tractor Supply, I will definitely show them to you. Just as I suspected, all empty. They cannot keep them in stock. I know people that have been trying to get them. So I'm hoping by May, people will already have gotten them all and we'll be able to get ours. So they did not have the waterer we wanted, but we found another one that we liked. Compared it on Amazon. It was actually cheaper here, so that's good. And now Doug is loading up. We already paid for these. We're not walking away with them. You pay inside and then just grab them. So we got 4 of those. We got a new waterer, a new watering base because I cracked one, and we got some treats for the girls. We got them a flock block. It's a big block of compressed mealworms and seeds. I'll show it to you. And corn, they love it. They have a great time pecking at it. So, and we got a nice big, this is the piece I had to replace because I broke. And then we got a nice big 5-gallon waterer. And I did ask, the chicks usually come in, and she said usually on Wednesdays. Wednesdays are chick day. She said, but if you're not here when they open and waiting in line, you ain't getting any. So I'm hoping that by May, it'll be a little bit easier to get. And she said it probably would be. Because, you know, right now, people like their chicks early because then they're laying before the cold hits. But we haven't had a problem with them. Usually new chicks will lay right through the first winter. So, yeah, we're going to wait. Like I said, we have to wait till the brooders are clear anyway. And she said, oh, you are covered in pollen. Oh,
That was from those.
whoa.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, because pollen is absolutely covering
Everything
outside, everything. And all the, like I showed you, the shavings are stacked outside. And then, oh yeah, that's a hot mess. But anyway, she said by May, mid-May, it won't be as hard to get the chicks. So that's what I'm hoping, because I can't be down here when they, well, actually, that's not true. I was going to say I can't be down here when they open on Wednesdays, but I can if I only have Hazy. I can easily pack him up and run down here. Or if Doug doesn't work so far away, I can be like, dude, they have chicks, get over to Tractor Supply. And he can run and get them. So I think when we're ready to do that, I'm just going to have a brooder set up and ready to go. And that way we can just pop them in. We did forget yesterday to go to the feed store. We don't get our feed at Tractor Supply. We get it from a place called Daminger's Natural Pet Food. And that's where we get all of our chicken feed, including our grower feed. And we forgot to get that yesterday. And they're closed on Sunday. So we'll just get it tomorrow. The nice thing about Daminger's, like, they know us and they know we're in there all the time. But we can call them tomorrow and say, hey, we need this. We pay for it over the phone, and then Adam just picks it up on his way home. Or if we're going to be late, like after they close, they'll leave it on the loading dock for us. So works out good. But that was non-eventful. I didn't get to show you any cute chickie chicks. We're not going to be picky with breeds this year, are we?
We want ones that lay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're not going to be able to be picky with breeds if it's this hard to get. I'm really hoping for Easter eggers and maybe some golden comets. That's what I want. We'll see what happens. But anyway, now to get home and get all those curtains ironed and get them hung up. And so it begins. Doug is setting up the brooders. What we do to set up the brooders is we put a thick layer of newspaper in the bottom. We're running out of newspaper. Not many people get an actual newspaper anymore, so it's not as thick as it normally is. And once we get the newspaper in, we put a nice layer of pine shavings. You never want to use cedar with chickens because it's actually toxic to them. Now, they'll be up in the dining room for the first week, and then they'll go down to the basement. But that first week when they're newborn, I really like to be able to keep a close eye on them, because usually if you're going to have problems, it's going to be that first week. You know, you want to make sure everybody's eating, everybody's drinking, nobody's getting bullied. So the first week we keep them up here. So once we have a nice layer of shavings, then we'll do food and water. Okay, we've got our feeder and our water in there. Of course, they're both empty right now. We'll fill them when they come. But remember I bought that extra little water dish? Yeah, we didn't need it. I don't know what I was thinking. I know I broke one, but I guess we had extra. But we are missing one of these white pieces. So we're gonna have to go back at some point and grab one of those before Thursday. Doug is now putting together our brooder plate. So this is what we use. I know a lot of times you see those hanging red lights. We don't like to use those just because it makes us a little bit nervous. They can just combust and actually, yeah, they make me nervous. So we use these brooder plates much safer. We have to scrub this off, Doug. But we like to cover them with press and seal plastic wrap because once the chicks are a couple days old, they jump up on top of it and they poop all over it. So we cover it with press and seal, and then we can pull it right up and put a new piece down and keep it clean. I learned that on one of my chicken boards, but that is what we prefer to use, is the coop heater. Once they get bigger, you can stand it up on the end like it shows, but we do it this way. We do it this way while they're chicks, and then they get under it, and that mimics them being under a mama chick. So it works for us. Everybody has their own way of doing it. Everybody has their own comfort level, and that's okay. So yes, every cabinet door is open. Can you tell? I'm cooking and cleaning. So he's gonna get those set up, and we're almost on that job. Okay, all set up for our little visitors. We'll put 10 in this one, 10 in this one, and then possibly have to go to a third brooder because the meat birds grow pretty quickly. So we have lids that go on top to keep them in and keep them safe from the cat and keep them safe from the babies.
More. That's more.
What, the babies?
Yes.
I don't know. You remember the cat trying to reach him last year? So there we go. All set up. Just have to wait for the call from the post office. Down to dinner, and then I'll finish everything I need to do. But we're just having roasted chicken, roasted potatoes, and corn. You'll see how I made this in my meals video. Next project is getting rid of the red and bringing out the blue, and getting rid of the dark curtains and bringing out the light ones. So that's going to be our next project. I have my beautiful flowers here. On Thursday, Doug and the boys, they knew I had a rough day on Thursday. It was a tough baby day Thursday, I'm not going to lie. They brought me this beautiful, beautiful bouquet. I need to arrange it a little bit better because the hydrangea opened a little bit, and so did the tulips. So I'll do some trimming and rearranging with that, but right now that's my centerpiece. So let's get started. Okay, this part of the kitchen is all done. We are ready for spring and summer. We've got our blue curtains up. I made these a couple years ago. We've got our flowers on the table, and well, that decor stays the same, but our decor here changes a little bit. So I switched out my kitchen towels to blue. I switched out my tea cozy to blue, and that's done. And I just have to finish up real quick the family room, and that'll be done. Okay, it got much later than I wanted it to, but here is the change I made in the family room. It's just the curtains. I have those closed already. I need to get new pillows, like I said, but that's the family room change. So I am quite happy with the way everything turned out. It looks nice and springy. We already have booster seats up here for tomorrow. It looks nice and springy, and I'm looking forward to some sunshine because then it'll really feel springy. So there you go. I am calling it a night. I've got a double batch of yogurt going in the Instant Pot. That'll be done 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, I guess, and then I'll have to strain off. I've got all lunches and breakfasts ready to go, packed. Oh, they just have to be packed tomorrow morning. I'm so excited about that. Second cake, first cake is cut up. Second cake is ready to go. Just has to be cut. It's still a little too warm. More baby stuff out. Brooders set up. I think it was a pretty productive day. Yesterday was not productive even in the least bit. Not even a little. So, but that's okay because sometimes you just need to rest. And that's what I did yesterday. And I feel fantastic now. Like I said, I don't know what's going on with my belly, but so now I'm going upstairs. I'm going to, it is 9 o'clock. I think I have one load of laundry to fold. But I have a feeling Doug's up there doing that because he went up already. I think I'm going to read a little bit of my book and call it a night. So I know it wasn't a fun weekend. Sometimes it's just normal around here. That's all. Sometimes normal. And I know, I realized I didn't give you points for anything. I hardly showed you any food because, well, didn't eat a whole lot. I will get better about that, I promise. I mean, I had great days. I plan on trying to do like 2 full days of eating during the week. I already turned off the lights. I know it's dark in here. I forgot to bring water up. But I'm trying to try to do 2 full days of eating. So we'll see. It just depends on babies. I think I only have 2 babies on Tuesday. I have a lot of baking to do this week for Andrew's school. A couple days this week. So I got to figure out what I'm making and come up with a plan to do that. I have a couple meetings at church this week. And then next week is craziness at church. So looking forward to it though. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with me for a while today, or this weekend, and I will catch you guys in the next video.